Good day to you, sir. Today, we will talk about the issues and controversies about Cavite Mutiny of 1872 and how it affected Filipinos and the present-day Philippine society. The Cavite Mutiny is known to spark the nationalism of the Filipinos to finally fight for their independence to the Spaniards. So, what happened on the Cavite Mutiny of 1872? It happened on January 20, 1872, at the San Felipe Fort Cavite Arsenal, where under the leadership of Sergeant La Madrid assassinated the commanding officer of the fort and other Spanish officers in charge guarding the fort. The mutiny was unsuccessful because when news broke to General Izquierdo, it was easily recaptured as there was no reinforcements for Sergeant La Madrid. There were many arrests and executions against the Filipino and mestizo liberal thinkers and clergies. Most famous of the executions was the Gomburza, that consists of three Catholic priests that consist of Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora. The issue of this event that the intention of the mutiny varies between the two sides, the Filipino version and the Spanish version. Also, the intent of the actions taken by the Spaniards after the mutiny happened. On the Spanish version of the Mutiny, written by Jose Montero y Vidal, the reason of the Cavite Mutiny was one of the starting plots by the Filipinos to remove the Spanish government in the Philippines. The mutiny started by the propaganda of the liberal thinkers, where they criticized the administration of the Filipinos under the Spanish government. They accused the Gomburza to be the new leaders of the Philippines, and they plot against the Spanish government. The Spanish government accused the Filipinos that they will do a bloody revolution against them by killing their leaders that can lead to the massacre of the friars. This version targeted the liberal thinkers and clergies to bring the idea of liberalization and secularization to the Filipinos that caused the violent Cavite Mutiny. They justified their massive and violent arrests because they are afraid of more bloodshed. On the Filipino version of the Cavite Mutiny, written by Dr. Trinidad Pardor de Tavera, where the reason of the mutiny was that the benefits and privileges of the Filipino workers at the Cavite Arsenal was taken away by General Izquierdo. After the event, the friars used this as leverage to take down their high-profile enemies. To them, because they want to retain their power and avoid secularization by the Spanish government in the Philippines. They targeted the critics and supporters of the secularization, especially the Gomburza. Tavera also mentioned that they used this event to make the issue bigger by saying that this is the first step of the Philippines Revolution because the Spanish government and friars in the Philippines was scared to lose power. But the Filipino workers at the Cavite Arsenal was just so dissatisfied by their reforms, they decided to mutiny. The execution of the Gomburza after the mutiny, where it really started the rise of the nationalism of the Filipinos. Analyzing the two sides, it is a fact that the Spanish government were afraid to lose power because of the Filipino and mestizo liberal thinkers and clergies that questioned the Spanish administration. The Cavite Mutiny of 1872 was bloody and violent because of the massive arrest. There was a conflicting story between the reason of arrest and on where the start of the rise of nationalism of the Filipinos to finally revolt. It affected the present Philippine society today because it gave us two sides of the story what, of what happened to finally fight for independence, of how the Spanish government abused their power to retain it on us for more years. That will be all. Thank you for listening.